two major political parties, maybe the ruling party and the major opposition party. It should be a contest, a real one, among different political parties. So we are trying our best, and we are making efforts from our end to ensure that the people at the grassroots are carried along in terms of education. So we are partnering with relevant stakeholders, the media, National Orientation Agency, security agencies, anti-corruption agencies, and all other relevant stakeholders. We are partnering with them. Even we are partnering with transport unions. We are partnering with trade associations to ensure that we disseminate information and we communicate with them to make sure that they participate fully and actively at the forthcoming local government election and subsequent local government election, not only at the national election, general elections that we know, presidential, governorship, national assembly and state assembly elections.
I want to commend your ruggedity to tackle some analysis and the question of our colleagues. Before I will allow other colleagues to ask a question, during your analysis, you said the Commission has tried to partner with different stakeholders in the state. What are the response from the stakeholders and the people at the grassroots? Are they respond to your campaign? Are they ready to work with you, or they still believe that the winner take it all?
Thank you very much. Let me take it from the verification committee that we inaugurated today. Look at the composition of the verification committee. From the composition, you will agree with me that relevant stakeholders are ready to partner with us. In fact, they are already partnering with us. We have a representative of the NUJ, Nigerian Union of Journalists, on that committee, and that person happens to be the secretary of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Osun State Chapter. We have representatives of the Osun Inland Revenue Service. We have representative of the judiciary. We have representative of pensioners. We have representative of the National Youth Council of Nigeria. I am saying all this to tell you that relevant stakeholders are being carried along, and we are partnering with them, and they are also partnering with us. In fact, they have seen the openness, they have seen the transparency, they have seen that we are not hiding any cards. We have placed all our cards face up on the table. As a result of that, they are happy to work with us, and they are happy to serve the people. So far so good. I can tell you that relevant stakeholders have been carried along, and as part of the stakeholders, the Osun Online Publishers Association, your organization is part of our stakeholders. You are part of our partners, and I believe that our partnership will work out anytime so soon. It's already working out, and you know that we have not been leaving you out from all our activities. If there is any information we give to you to disseminate to the public, and you have been helping us to do that. So we partner with you in the real way of partnership, and we will all see the good at the end of the day. So you are all stakeholders. All of us are stakeholders in this process, and I believe that we will have it so good at the end of the day.
Thank you so much, sir. I will call Mr. Bright, and after him, he is my colleague. We also ask some questions.
Thank you, sir. My name is Comrade Bright. The first question that I have, publisher of OSSIEC Media. My first question, you've already answered the first question, which is why the local government elections matter, especially at this period that we now have full autonomy. But that question aside, then my main question is, in the last election held in this state at the local government level, we have the issue of, most of us will go out to go and cover the election. We have the issue of in the ballot paper, we have the issue of yes or no. I wanted to, what's your view about the yes or no ballot paper? Is it going to repeat itself again in this election?
Well, I told you that
before you answer it, I want you to Deputy Chairman. That's all.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir, Mr. Chairman, sir. My question will not be far. I just want to.
Is it because I know you before, that's why you don't want to introduce yourself?
Sorry, pardon my. I'm Jamie, the publisher of Entrust Reporters. I want to ask. I can see. Sorry, can I continue, sir?
Yes.
Yes, it's obvious what has been coming from your office. Actually, carrying people along and making everything visibly as possible. To get what they want, irrespective of how you want the election to be credited.
Thank you very much. Well, to the question asked by my friend there regarding how the 2022 election went, well, that was the best way it appeared to those saddled with the responsibility in the past. That was the best way they thought they could handle the election, and that was why it went the way it went. The election was challenged not on the basis of being yes or no. It was challenged on the basis of a defective notice, and at the end of the day the court invalidated the election not on the basis of being yes or no. So I want to say that with all sense of responsibility that the election that was conducted by OSSIEC in 2022 went the way the commission then, under the then leadership, wanted it to go. So that was the only thing I could say about that. The only thing I will add to it is that the process of the election was challenged in court and it was nullified on account of having no legitimate foundational basis. The notice was not in compliance with both the Electoral Act and even OSSIEC law. The notice was given on 15th of August 2022. That was the notice of election, notice of local government election by the then OSSIEC. And the election was conducted, I think, on 15th or 16th of October 2022, within 2 months, 60 days. Not even up to 100 days, not even up to 360 days that is provided for in the Electoral Act and in the OSSIEC law. So it went the way it went, and we all saw the results. So, but it won't happen under our leadership. You will see that from the word go and from the point of notice, we got it right and we have been getting it right. We will still get it right. So, going to your own question regarding influence of politicians on voters, well, we on our part can only do in terms of delivery of election materials, deployment of personnel, mobilization of voters in terms of education, in terms of providing for them the avenue, the conducive environment to cast their votes, and to ensure as much as possible that there is adequate security, which we have been working towards seriously. That is on our part. Even at that, there are some electoral offences, undue influence, vote buying, and all that on the part of politicians who may want to use some negative influence on the electorate, there are offences created by the law which are punishable. So if there is any of such instance during the election, definitely we will take it up from our end. The law is there. But if we don't have any information regarding that, and we don't have any such incidents or any such occurrence, there is nothing we can do. But if there is any such incidents or any such occurrence, the law is there to take care of such situation. So we are doing everything possible from our end. That is why, not only in terms of asking voters or the electorate to participate in the electoral process by voting for their candidates or their political parties of choice, but also to ensure that they guard the process. Guarding the process entails ensuring that the process is not fouled in any way. The stream that is clean is not fouled in any way. Undue influence, inducement of voters and all that are part of the factors that can jeopardize the electoral process, that can foul the stream of the electoral process, and we will not want that. So we will continue to partner with relevant stakeholders, our friends in the media, the National Orientation Agency, anti-corruption agencies, and all other relevant bodies to ensure that we drive home the point to the electorate to ensure that any such ills, any such evils do not happen during the election.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before we allow another person to ask a question, during your analysis, you said the commission will be strict with the constitution when it comes to the punishment of election offenders. In the years back, many people are being arrested, but the case die along the way. The masses never have the end of the matter. Your own angle and the commission, what are the measurements you already put in place in order to deal with election offenders? Because as Nigerians today, we believe no matter how it is, we will surely have people that we want to beat the law. What are the measurements you have put in place in order to deal with election offenders? And aside that, what are the technology you want to use, you want to employ to forthcoming election in order to call up some errors during the process?
Thank you very much. You know, I am a lawyer. There are certain issues that you hear about them, you hear the beginning, you will not know the end. Let me cite an example. When I was in school, I had not even gained admission into university. I had not even dreamt of reading law at all. I heard about an incident that some people from the southwest here were heading to the north to buy ram for sale during a particular Ilea festival, and that they were intercepted by some security agents, and those security agents, instead of protecting them, collected all the resources they had and asked them to go back into the truck, and they set the truck ablaze. I heard that story. I was not yet an undergraduate then. I had not gained admission into the university, and I had not even dreamt of reading law. And we heard about it, that the police, those who were involved then were apprehended, they were charged to court or whatever, and all we had was that maybe the story died, the thing died that way, and that we never had anything about it until when I became a lawyer, that I read a law report where the Supreme Court affirmed their conviction. So that means that since we did not hear anything about it, if I had not read in the law report that they were actually charged to court, they were convicted by the trial court, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court affirmed their conviction, and they were all sentenced to death. Those who heard about it in the past will say, oh, it had gone the way other cases went in the past, and that we did not hear anything about it again. Let me cite another example. You heard the story of some armed robbers who attacked and murdered a POS operator at Powerline area about 6-7 years ago, isn't it? That was the story some of us had, that a copper who was doing POS as a side hustle, they attacked him at Powerline area and they killed him, isn't it? Did you hear that about 3 or 4 months ago, those who perpetrated the act were actually convicted by the court and they were sentenced to death by hanging? People will not hear about it again. What we usually hear about, what I'm saying is that what you hear about crimes generally is the sensation when the news is still fresh, because the time the news is fresh, maybe at the time the incident happened, as at the time the incident get to the police station, what happens subsequently we do not follow. Maybe the people, the culprits have been charged to court, and the court proceedings thereafter we do not follow. That is why you don't know that some of these things that you hear about, that you only think that you hear about crimes, you hear about electoral offenders being apprehended, but nothing has been done or is being done about them. What I'm saying in essence is that there are certain processes in our criminal law. Apart from investigation, we have arrest. Apart from arrest, we have arraignment. That is when you charge them to court. After arraignment, you have trial. That is when you call evidence. The prosecution will call evidence to prove the guilt of the accused person. The accused will call his own defense too. Then the court will pass judgment. It's either the court convicts them or the court exonerates them. But because this thing is a long process, all you hear is during the time the incident happened and the time maybe when the security agents get involved, and no more. We don't follow the proceedings in court, whether there have been court proceedings relating to regarding the particular incident or not. So what I'm saying in essence is that the offenses are there as established by the law, and the punishments are also prescribed by the law. Anyone who is found committed an offense under the OSSIEC law, or even by extension the Electoral Act, or who has done anything in contravention of any regulation or guideline issued by the commission which amounts to a crime, that person will not be spared.
Thank you for that affirmation. I will call on Mr. Bright to ask one question, and after Abioye Chairman will also ask questions. And I will.
Sir, I have 2 questions here.
So leaving you with one.
Yes, sir.
So hope it was not the one you forgot the other time that you now got now.
No.
So now you got another two, and one I've dealt with it.
Yes, sir.
So go ahead, my friend.
That one is about vote buying.
Okay.
The second question is it's 2 in 1. To round your question up. The first question is where can the residents, voters, get access or keep update with the results after the election? And the second question is what may lead to cancellation of results in this election? Maybe totally or whatever, or ballot snatchers.
My question is,
As we speak, the National Assembly is proposing National Electoral Commission for Local Government. What is your take on this? And do you think establishing the National Commission for Local Government Election will be far better than State Electoral Commission you are currently in?
Well, thank you very much. My friend asked a question about electoral offences which are taking questions relating to electoral offences. We are talking about violence, thuggery, ballot snatching and all that. Well, I've told you that in terms of security arrangements, we are doing our best and will continue to do our best to ensure that we involve security agents. They are already on board of this process. They are already part of this process. We have been reaching out to them, they have been reaching out to us. And you know, the issue of security is so sensitive that it is not what you discuss openly in the media. You only allow people, the public, to see the result and you give them assurance. So the strategy and the tactics behind all that, I will not be able to disclose in the media. So, and I believe that people will really understand us with regards to that. But I want to assure you that there will be adequate security. In terms of security, we will not falter by God's grace. Now to the question of my friend regarding the bill that is lying before the National Assembly. I want to tell you straight away that the bill is an aberration. I want to tell you straight away, and I have no regret saying it, that bill is an aberration. It ought not to have found its place to the floor of the Senate in the first place. Because I don't think anyone will ever think of using a law to displace what is contained in the Constitution. I say it again, that the bill that is lying before the National Assembly regarding creating a national local government electoral commission or whatever, what's the name called, has no business to find its way to the floor of the House. In fact, it's a big disappointment that such a bill even passed the first reading. It ought not to have been accommodated at all. The process, if you want to take the responsibility of conducting local government elections away from the state electoral bodies, go through the proper constitutional amendments. The provision of the Constitution is still there. I don't think there is any law as it is today that can displace the provision of the Constitution. Section 1 sub 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is so sacrosanct, is so basic, that if there is any law that is inconsistent with any of the provision of the Constitution, that law shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be void. So, if you are heading towards a void act, why will you go ahead with that void act? Why not take the bull by the horn by going through proper constitutional amendments? I say it again, that bill cannot see the light of the day. It cannot. see the light of the day. Are you telling me that a national body will be created, will be established when the provision of the constitution has not been altered to take the responsibility of conducting local government election away from the state electoral bodies? That will be an aberration of the highest order, and it cannot happen. It will not happen. That is one. Secondly, if you are talking about conducting local government election today, some people have been saying that maybe some states have been rushing to conduct local government election following the Supreme Court decision in AG Federation and AG Abia State and others. I want to tell you that as it is today, as Osun State Independent Electoral Commission is concerned, we are not under any pressure. I still say it. I still maintain that we are not under any pressure. People have been thinking maybe we will shift the date of the election so that we will rush it. Let me tell you that at least as a state electoral body, there are certain things you will have to give that boy. You will have to say thank you. If it is about the thank you thing that you will get because you conduct election, that will make us rush it so that, oh, let me take what I want to take, then let me go away. Let anything happen, let heavens fall. We are not rushing at all. If the constitution is amended today and they say that another body should take over the responsibility of conducting local government election, so be it, and that body will be welcome. And that is if it is in line with the provision of the constitution. The provision of the constitution must have been altered before such will happen. That is one. The second issue is that we are talking about the issue because people have been asking me about allocations to the local government. Allocations to the local government is not my business. It is between the federal government and the local government. I don't have any control over that. I'm not a local government chairman. I'm not a member of the national executive or a member of the state executive that will determine or sit over allocations or whatever. It does not concern me. My own is to conduct local government election, notice of which we are given ever before the matter before the Supreme Court was conceived, ever before the matter before the Supreme Court was filed in May 2024, and we gave notice of election in February 2024. You should see the sincerity in us. You should see that we are following due process. You should see that we are not compromising on the side of rule of law, and we are not shifting the date of the election as it is today. And let me shock you again. If there is anybody, if the constitution is amended today and that a body is now created to conduct local government election other than the state electoral bodies, the process we have started cannot be stopped. The process we have started cannot be stopped. That is it, and that is the basic.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I welcome our former chairman as well. You are not simple. Welcome. And I will call on our ex-wife chairman, Mr. Onoshipi Adesoji, to ask no question.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome, sir.
The only question I would like to ask is, how would you build confidence in OSSIEC electoral process on the election in which and chairman, possibly the fact that all elections conducted in all the states of the federation in the past, the state always win, the ruling party doesn't always win. I would not be surprised if the ruling party loses in this election. But why I asked that question was the fact that there was a member of the PDP which was renounced and they have won, that you have decided. Then when people now look back into to whom you were before that time, don't you think they will relate it to the result of the election?
Well,
before you answer that, let me make an addendum to that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Garrett, I've used my name, sir. My question is this: with what he has said, we realize that in this country, since the beginning of this fourth republic, I don't think there is any a state where a party wins all the wards and all the local government. I mean, a governorship candidate win all the local governments and all the wards. But that has been the the narration when it comes to local government election. I would like you to, as an experienced person in prosecution and even electoral management, what do you think is the problem that usually leads to this? And then, if peradventure, how do you think your own commission is working to ensure that if that is going to happen, the whole world will see that this is what they want? So, what's your own opinion about that? And then, what do you want to put in place to ensure that there is transparency and accountability at least in every ballot issues by the commission?
Thank you very much. Well, if there is anyone who is collecting late-comer penalties, you should collect from your OSSIEC Chairman and Jare.
I was in the charge of technical.
Okay, but I addressed it earlier, but I will still say it because it's a recurrent question, like a recurrent decimal. I mean, like a recurring decimal, so it continues to recur. Well, I want to say that the problem does not lie with the state electoral body. The problem lies with the electorate and majorly the opposition political parties. Let me cite an example. Some people mobilized some political parties against OSSIEC, and they said they should not participate in the electoral process at all. Those people now ask, why did you ask us not to participate? They said if you participate in the election, you will give credence and credibility to that process. We want people to see that it's a one-way election that will not have any credibility. It's a problem of politicians, and it's a political game by politicians to leave the ball in the court of the ruling party when it comes to local government election. They even go as far as dishing out resources to other relevant stakeholders, even electorates, that they have written the results, don't bother to come out for the election. So it's like, and like I always say, it's like being a referee, the umpire, to officiate a football match. You are on the field, you have already fixed the date of the match. You have fixed the time and the pitch, the stadium in which the match will take place. And you get there, you see a team. The other team, after blowing your whistle, the other team does not show up, and you award a walkover. It is not your fault at all. Whose blame? Whose fault? But I think that the process we have commenced, I said something, that the majority of these political parties under IPAC do not have any business participating at the national election. They do not have business participating at the national election. This should be their control base. The local election should be their stronghold. It should be their strongest point to negotiate. They should be the one that the major gladiators, major political parties should be looking up to. I cited an example that if a particular political party can say, look, this particular ward or this particular polling unit, let me leave the record local government, let me go to a fellow local government and let me concentrate on ward 1 or ward 2. And you start mobilizing, you start educating people, you start reaching out to people at the grassroots in that particular ward of that particular polling unit. I tell you, it will be difficult for any political party, however strong, to upstage that political party in that particular ward or particular polling unit. If that is brought into place and into practicality by major political parties, instead of dishing out what do I call it, releases, media releases and all that, and other media propaganda and all that, go into the practical aspect of it. It will be difficult for any political party to just come and upstage you. That is one. The second issue is this: if you have a state electoral body, some states, let me cite an example. Some states up till now, or let me say up till the time the Supreme Court gave the decision on local government autonomy, did not have their state electoral body in place. A constitutional body that is supposed to be a regular commission, a standing commission at all times. Some states will constitute their local government, their state electoral body at the eve of the election, and immediately after the election they dissolve it. Lagos State, it was after Lagos, even Lagos State just constituted their state independent electoral body. Go and check it. They just constituted it. It was after the Supreme Court decision that they constituted it. Like some other states just constituted their state electoral. Some states do not even reckon with state electoral bodies at all, as if it does not exist under the constitution. It is not the case with Osun State. I'm only saying this, that there are so many ills, there are so many evils to be cured. If there are so many evils to be cured and we are looking for the cure, you know, to chop off the head is not the solution to headache. It is not to say that they should bring another body other than the state electoral body that are already established in the constitution. It is for us to call for the strengthening of those state electoral bodies for their administrative, operational and financial autonomy. We had had it in the past when the national electoral body conducted local government election, and we had it that it was the ruling party that still dominated, despite the fact that it was conducted by the national electoral body. So what result are we looking at? So it is up to all of us, the stakeholders, in terms of education, in terms of orientation, in terms of information, to let the public know that local government elections are our election, are the elections of the people at the grassroots, and they should participate fully without being influenced unduly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and we are appreciating your coming to appear at the 50th edition of the media panel of Osun Online Public Association. Once again, we really appreciate you, sir. And I will call. We are about to round it up.
Thank you.
Because I will call.
Two questions.
Yes, we welcome two questions, and after it, we round it up. And
I'm not asking my question. I only made that then.
you already appear.
I only need an addendum.
And Mr. Combined that mistake, you will Chairman wait. You will ask your question, and Baba, you will take everything on at once. Don't go. Ask your question.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. My question is about the first one is about inclusiveness
in the electoral process. The persons with disability, these are the people with special needs. How is your commission preparing to ensure that these people are included, like the grey ballot paper? Is there in the magnified glasses for people to see? What are the provisions that you are making for persons with disability to ensure that they participate actively in this? The other question I want to ask has to do with the qualification of candidates. The minimum requirement is SSC, I don't know if there is another minimum requirement for councillors. So how are you looking at the people that are being put forward by political parties? Looking at their qualification and all that. And then are you subjecting these people to public scrutiny so that people can also look at who they are, their qualifications, in terms of how old they are, in terms of what level of their educational qualification, are they actually their profile? Are you subjecting those ones to public scrutiny so that people like all the journalists can also have access to? And the final one is this: the issue of, no, it is not going to be only, but it has to do with the issue of security. Because of the Supreme Court judgment that we've had, like some of us that are working in that sector in the recent time, we've seen that there is this kind of new energy in the way people want to conduct. In fact, the way people are looking at the campaign monitoring and some other things, you realize that people actually have interest in now. Many people want to become chairman of local government. So in terms of monitoring the campaign, how are you working towards it? Then the security, pre-election, on the election day, and post-election. What has been the discussion between you and all the relevant stakeholders to ensure that we have credible elections that will not be like ballot issue here and there? So, and I believe that you understand everything. Thanks. Right on.
My question goes straight. It's about voters' apathy and disenfranchisement. The perception is that, or let me the view of the masses is that
is that it's only the elite and we have seen in the past elections, some people are willing to vote, but as they get to the police station, they are chasing them. So what is your office is doing or can do to prevent this? That's number one. Number two is
among those that have been screened to participate in the coming election, we, as of today, found people that have been disqualified, and if there are, how many of them? And then the last one is about the logistics. Logistics usually allows violence. When people are agitating, we are looking towards bringing the material, then a lot of them will. So what are we done, or are we going to do to make sure that these materials get to the polling booth on time?
Thank you very much.
The last question.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is
So my question is concerning the results of the election. So I want to ask, what are the ways to announce the result? How are the residents going to know the result of the election? Is it online? Is it going to be a press conference? Or how are they going to know? That's one. Then number two, I want to ask in terms of awareness and sensitization of citizens on electoral practices, like what is the commission doing about this? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, the first question is about how we have been carrying along people with disability. I want to tell you that apart from reckoning with them as part of the electorate, they are also part of us in the electoral process. You know, there are levels of people living with disabilities. They have some level. They have some subgroups.
Clusters.
Yes, clusters. So among themselves. So we have been involving them as part of our ad hoc. So you see, it's not only about reckoning with them as part of the electorate only. They are part of us at ad hoc level. And we have some committees. Some we have set up, some we are about to announce. We have people with disability having representation on some of these committees. So definitely they are part of us. Now, reckoning with them as part of the electorate, you will see that if you look at the guideline issued by the commission, there is provision to take care of people with disability there. So definitely we reckon with them, and they will be treated specially, because there are people who have people of special needs. Definitely we are going to treat them specially for the purpose of the election. Secondly, with regards to qualification of candidate and the quality of the candidate nominated by political parties, on our part, we are to verify their document, and you can see that we inaugurated a verification committee, none of whom anybody can point out that this person is affiliated to a particular political party. They are people of high integrity. Are you talking about Alhaji Olayanju, a retired civil servant, senior staff of the National Population Commission, and is a mathematician? Or are you talking about the co-chairman, Alhaji Kazeem Olatokun, who is a chartered accountant? These are people. We have a retired deputy state auditor general among them. We have lawyers among them. We have scientists. We have educationists among them. These are people of high repute. They are to look at the documents of the candidates. We are not to match candidates of political parties before them to be coming here one after the other for screening. We are not screening candidates of political parties. We believe that political parties are screening their candidates. For us, it's just to look at their document, look at certain inadequacies that could be remedied, and we inform their political party this one is remediable. But there are certain ones that are not remediable. For example, in terms of age qualification, if you are fielding an underage candidate, that one is not remediable because the nomination ab initio is void. There are certain issues that cannot be remedied as well. If you have submitted the list of a particular candidate, and during nomination you are bringing another person as your candidate apart from the one on the list you submitted to the commission, that one too is a void nomination which is not remediable. But if it comes to, you see, we have representatives of OIRS, Osun Internal Revenue Service, on that committee. Tax compliance is not per se a qualification factor, but we want people to see that those who will be leading them at the local government level are those who are responsible citizens. Those who pay tax will know how to manage people's tax, because you'll be dealing with taxpayers' money. So definitely, if you are not, it will be morally wrong of you to be administering taxpayers' money. That is, if you find your way to the office at the end of the day, if you win the election at the end of the day, but you are not somebody who has been paying tax, someone who is a tax defaulter. That is the essence of what we want to ensure, that in such a situation we will just ask such a candidate to go and pay the relevant tax. And should there be any candidate, because we give for inclusiveness and for all political parties to be able to participate, we ask them to come and collect nomination forms, and we give them, and we say at the time of submission you can come and pay. That is to show openness and inclusiveness. That is not to shut out anybody. So if we find out that a particular candidate of the political party has failed to pay the nomination fee or whatever, we just ask, go and pay, because this is a revenue for the state. I think you are getting my point now.
Yes, sir.
These are some of the things that the verification committee will look at, and they will look at the educational qualification. It is O level and above. Should there be any issue with educational qualification or any particular candidate, we will inform his political party. This is it. And if that person finds his way to the ballot, and at the end of the day he or she is challenged on the basis of that, they will have to bear the brunt of their adventure at the end of the day. So be it. I think you are getting my point. That is what the verification committee is to do. They are not to line up candidates of political parties before them. They will deal with their documents and make their report. And I assure you that their report we will make public. We will ensure that the verification committee's report is what is made public. So I thank you very much. Now, to the issue of security, because Jare asked about the issue of security, and I think our friend here, the secretary of your organization, also asked a question regarding that security issue is a recurring one, like a recurring decimal. So that is why we, before, during, and after the election, we are not taking the issue of security lightly. We have been part. In fact, I must commend our security agencies, the Nigerian police, at the zonal level, at the command level, the DSS, the civil defense, and all other security agents. I must commend them. They have been reaching out to us. They have been reaching out to us. Apart from the general discussion, we have also been making special arrangements to ensure that the process is itch-free, violence-free, so that no one at the end of the day will have to bite his or her finger as a result of security issues. Whether an official, whether the electorate, whether any political party, no one will have cause to regret at the end of the day. So we are on top of it in terms of security. In terms of orientation and education, okay, in terms of collation of results, the guideline is there. We are going to have, there are level of ad hoc staff that we are going to employ. We just inaugurated our electoral officers who will be on ground. Apart from the electoral officers, we are going to have supervisors who will supervise each ward. You know, we have 332 wards in Osun State, and the councillorship seats in the states, people are vying for 332 councillorship seats in the state. So we are going to have supervisors for each ward, and we are going to have presiding officers for each polling unit. We are going to have assistant presiding officer and other ad hoc staff, even poll orderly for each polling unit. And we are going to have returning officers at the ward level and at the local government level. The job of these people is to look at the processes of the election, and once all the processes have been followed, there is voting procedure, there is collation procedure. Once all these processes have been followed, then the result of the election will be announced both manually and electronically. But ours is not beaver. We are not using beavers, and we are not using IRF, but we have a situation room, and we will give people link to access the situation room anytime, so as to let us know. And this is, you must commend the agency for this initiative. And our recruitment, ad hoc recruitment will be online. This has not happened in the past, so we must commend this agency, this commission under our leadership for this initiative. We are trying as much as possible to ensure that we are carrying every member of the public along, to ensure that this process is a different one under the present leadership. And in terms of orientation and all that, you know, we launched Election 2 CD, campaign against Election 2 CD, campaign against cybercrime, cultism, and drug abuse. That's 2 CD. By the grace of God Almighty, we will be moving out to public places anytime from now, and we will engage you. We will partner with you to be with us, to distribute souvenirs to people, handbills, and all that, giving them orientation regarding conduct of local government election, on how to shun violence, on how to shun cybercrime, on how to shun drug abuse, on how to shun cultism, because these are indicators of violence during any election. I want to assure you that if there is no cultism, activities of cults, if there is no cyber issues, and there are no drug issues during the election, I believe that the process is ultimately guaranteed it will be violence free. So we are doing everything from our end to collaborate with relevant agencies. You see that our commission and the NDLA, we are neighbors. In fact, we are their landlord. We are collaborating every bit of the time, every time of the day, to ensure that this campaign is driven into the public space, and that will not only be limited to the level of the commission, it will be extended to other stakeholders, even at other national elections, to ensure that we cut down the incidences of violence during our elections.
Let us down our hands for the chairman. We really appreciate you, sir. To round it up, sir, I believe there is no way.
I thought you said that was the last question.
Yes. There is no way we will tell the people of Osun that the office is very nice place to be and how smoothly the office is given. Is there any challenge so far? What would be your message to the people of Osun concerning the FT cases?
Thank you very much. Well, so far so good. We have not had any challenge. You know, during my introductory remark, I said it that we came on board, we inherited decadence, structural decadence, administrative decadence, operational decadence. But we put all those challenges behind us. We took the bull by the horn and we started afresh. And you will agree with me that if you visit OSSIEC today and you compare it to OSSIEC of the past, you will give us kudos. Apart from that, when we came on board, like I said, there was no IT instrument, no IT facility. As it is today at OSSIEC, I think I mentioned it to you here that most of our programs will be IT driven. I think I will unveil some of our social media pages, handles, Facebook, cloud, website, and all that. We will release all that to tell you that the commission is alive in terms of IT. So far, so good. We don't have any challenge, and we don't envisage any. Up till today, we don't envisage any. And as it is, we will be carrying, and as I promised, we will be carrying you along every step of the way. I thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. Well, my message to people of Osun State is that as far as the local government, forthcoming local government election is concerned, we are enjoying all the stakeholders, especially the electorate, the political parties, to cooperate with the commission that we will deliver a credible process. We will deliver an election that the people of the state will be proud of anytime, any day. We have started with the inauguration of certain committees. We have started with the inauguration of electoral officers. We have started with the inauguration of verification committee. And the caliber of people that we have brought on board and that we will still bring on board will tell you that definitely OSSIEC is heading for the good, and we will have it so good at the end of the day. Thank you so much.
Our ex-wife chairman will do the proof of plan.
Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate your coming.
SOJ.
Yes, sir. We promise that our partnership will continue. And at the same time, we don't want you to feel somehow because of